Chelsea cheated. That is according to a brand new article in the Times today. When it came to signing Eden Hazard, Man United had the deal in the bag. Fees agreed, personal terms in the bag. But at the 11th hour, a secret backhanded offshore payment was needed for the then agent of Eden Hazard to complete the deal. Man United said no. Chelsea reportedly said yes to this. It is now being investigated. This just brings another leaves a horrible taste in the mouth when it comes to Premier League football. Who's abiding by the rules? Who's breaking them? Why are they not being enforced? Would we ever have known about this if Clear Lake hadn't have reported themselves for this situation? Look, I want your thoughts and I want your feelings, plus an update on Manchester City's 115 charges, what's going on with them, and a new court case with the Premier League beckons. Manchester United miss out on Eden Hazard due to an agent's secret payment demands. A summary here of the article in the Times today claims that in 2012, United were close to signing Eden Hazard from Lille, having agreed both a transfer fee and personal terms. However, the deal collapsed when Eden Hazard's agent at the time, John Bico, demanded a secret multi-million-pound payment, £1 million to go through the club and several millions directly to the owner. Man United refused, citing Premier League and UEFA rules. Chelsea instead joined Chelsea. Bico is now facing financial crime charges in Belgium, unrelated to this case. They are very specific about that. A Premier League investigation is ongoing into claims that Chelsea's former owner, Roman Abramovich, made a €7 million offshore payment to Bico in 2013. Leaked documents suggest Chelsea made other secret payments during Roman Abramovich's ownership as well. Chelsea, now under new ownership, of course, in 2022, reported potential irregularities to the regulators and paid a £10 million fine fee for FFP breaches. The new owners are cooperating with the investigation and withheld 150 million from Roman Abramovich's sale over the potential sanctions. So there's 150 million pound of money to be accounted for that. And look, some are going to say, well, we've heard about these allegations before. And yes, we have. What we are now learning is that Man United essentially had this transfer in the bag. He wanted to be a United player. And for me, that's irrelevant in terms of the club. I'm a Man United fan. It's annoying that we didn't get Eden Hazard, phenomenal football player. But this could be Liverpool. This could be Newcastle. It could be City or Arsenal. And at the end of the day, this stinks to high heaven. There's one thing, a player wanting to join your club and you tap in that team up. Chelsea are your number one choice. Do you know what? We're going to tap Chelsea up for as much money as possible to get this deal done. It goes against the rules, but they're only taking money out of your pocket. But to stop players, and by the way, let me just say this now, because I know Chelsea fans are going to go angry. They're going to think this is an attack on their football club. This is a wider message. I am sure that this has gone on with other clubs around Europe, other clubs in the Premier League. Okay, I'm sure that this has happened. Just so happens that the news is about Chelsea. But this type of behavior stinks. There's no fair play in this. And this is why things like fair market value, this is why FFP, this is why regulations need to be in place. Because essentially, if it becomes the Wild West, where it's a free-for-all, the richest owners and the people with bottomless pits of cash are always going to land the better players, because human beings, by definition, not by definition, but human beings by nature are corruptible, especially when it comes to making exorbitant amounts of money. And this stinks to high heaven. And I want to say as well, well done to Clear Lake, well done to Todd Bowley and everybody running their football club for noticing these irregularities and reporting them. Fair play to them. They want to run Chelsea in a fair and ethical way. Now, some will say, look, they're selling off assets here and they're finding loopholes in the rules. but they're doing it all above board. They're doing it in plain sight. In fact, they're quite proud of the loopholes they've found, and they've publicized them for everybody to see. They've spoken about them at large, and they've been somewhat celebrated. So I want to say well done to Chelsea's current owners for calling this out. I really, really do. And it will probably, in the long term, help Chelsea in terms of punishment. But if Chelsea are the ones who have leaked the docs that prove these transactions took place, and they were against the rules, and it stopped another team from making the signing, the reports that have done this on multiple other occasions, for me, this is the epitome of cheating. It's the epitome of cheating if all this is proven. It just is. You're going outside of the rules of the game to sign top quality players. You're not attracting them off merit. You're not attracting them because of your own successes or their desire to play for you. It's by backhanders to agents. And for me, listen, Chelsea fans are gonna find a way to defend their club. I'm sure the phrase that if you're not cheating, you're not trying is going to come out of some people's mouths. Look, that's just what cheats say. That's just a way of a cheat justifying themselves, coming out of a cliched saying in that regard. But for me personally, it's an abomination. It's a disgrace, and it should be called out by every single person. We have no idea of the timeline of the investigation, the charges that are going to come out, and what the punishment may be. But this absolutely stinks to high heaven. Now, in relation to Man City, as a few people have seen, that Man City might not find out their fate in their financial battle with the Premier League until the summer, as a verdict has been delayed again. The Premier League have accused City of breaking their financial rules on more than 100 occasions between 2009 and 2018. They originally charged City with 115 breaches. They've now, of course, increased that to 115. A number of them are, as we know, though, for non-cooperation, but a delay again. And for me, if we put aside what Chelsea have kind of they've kind of grasped themselves up. So for any Chelsea fan to be angry that they're being called cheats, well, speak to Clear Lake. They've clearly found these breaches and they've reported themselves. They've handed themselves in almost. They've pleaded guilty. Don't have a go at us. For City, look, the jury's still out. Some people think they're innocent. Some people think they're guilty. Some think they're guilty and will be found innocent. Some think they're innocent and will be found guilty. Like I've said for a long time now, I want this verdict through more than ever. I want the transparency. I want to know what this unequivocal evidence is that proves their innocence. And if that evidence is so unequivocal, why has there been a delay? I'm not saying it's because they're lying. I'm saying I don't understand, and I want that clarity. The Premier League have also now set another date loosely for about 6 months' time before Man City get to take the Premier League back to court over the third party transactions, the related party transactions, when it comes to sponsorships and the fair market value and everything else. So that deal has also been delayed. And the Premier League have got to step up here. And I'll tell you why the Premier League have got to step up. Because they're already a laughing stock for everything to do with the APT rules, the associated party transactions. Everybody's laughing at the Premier League for putting together rules that are against the law, in fact. Even though the court said, we know why you need these rules, but they've got to be lawful. At the same time, if you've put rules and regulations in to stop backhander payments like Chelsea have allegedly done for Eden Hazard, and they've broken it, there has to be a severe punishment. If there's not, we're going to become the Wild West. We're going to become the Wild West. If there's no financial regulations, if anyone can do whatever they want, pump in as much as they want, that means they can withdraw as much as they want. It means they can spend billions on players and salaries, but they can also take it away at the drop of a hat. If these rules and regulations go, football could be in a very, very poor position. And by the way, your club might be run well, but if 20, 30, 40% get run poorly and collapse, everybody's going to get dragged down with it. I remember when I worked in the banking industry, I remember asking a very naive question as a young person in the institute of banking. Well, why don't we just let the banks that have messed up fail? And it was very bluntly and very simplistically put to me that if you allow one of those major banks, like the ones that we recognize from the high street, to completely collapse and fall due to all the goings on and the work they all do with each other, the lending they do to each other, the borrowing, the savings, etc., you drag all of them down. You couldn't let one just fail. You might be able to let an investment bank go, or a merchant bank here, or a little bit there, but you can't let those giant institutes go. And I think football would suffer the same issue. So we need the rules and regulations. It's not about holding clubs back. Look at Newcastle. They've not been held back. They've gone from being a relegation team to a Champions League team winning their first trophy in 70 years. FFP has not stopped them becoming a powerhouse in England. Would they like to spend more and do it quicker? Yes, I understand why they would. But we have to have rules and regulations, because not every owner is going to be as good, potentially as good, as Newcastle's. It can't be a one-size-fits-all to that degree. There needs to be a safety net. There has to be a seatbelt. There has to be a way of protecting people. But the Premier League here, with this Chelsea scenario, delaying the results of the 1-1-5, for me, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth indeed. And this isn't a dig at rival clubs. I'm talking here about the Premier League not having their house in order, not having the right investigations and regulations to begin with. How did they not see what a lot of supporters saw? A lot of people smelt rats many years ago. How is this working? How are they able to do this? Why can't this team? Why can't that team? How are they able to sign this player and nobody else can? Why are they always winning the races for sign these players and all the other teams are not? At the time, it was put down to ambition and being well run. It now looks more like backhanders were going on and rules were being broken. How long are these investigations going to take? When are we going to start seeing some verdicts? And what does football look like at the end of these investigations, at the end of these verdicts? I want your opinions. I'd like to hear from you in the comment section below. Until next time, my people, take care, goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you all again soon. Peace.